So my background at the Tech Academy, before I joined the Tech Academy, was I was actually a student at the University of Utah. I was studying in computer science. While I was at the university, I also worked two different jobs. I had worked as a manager over at Domino's, and then I'd also worked as a bank teller at Transwest Credit Union. So I was looking to move away from the university. It seemed like everything was just really slow moving. It seemed like I just wasn't learning anything very quickly, but I loved coding. So I'd approached some people I knew who also really liked coding. I'm like, hey, what other options are there for me, for other people like me who, want to continue to do coding, but I don't particularly want like a traditional education, like a university or a college, especially because at the time it was just too expensive per semester. And I was being told that I should go ahead and take a look into boot camps. And I had no idea what those were. I'm like, well, you're gonna have to explain what those are to me. And they were essentially telling me, oh, like imagine a boot camp like a trade school, but for coding and development. I was like, oh, that's like awesome. That's perfect. And that's kind of where I started looking into different boot camps and such. So sort of like I was mentioning, I had looked at a lot of different boot camps, a lot of different companies, and many would just be like, okay, this is going to be a Python boot camp, or this is going to be just a simply HTML boot camp or something like that. And they wouldn't really cover a whole lot of ground, and it seemed very limited. And I was like, well, this isn't good. I needed to find a place that had everything I wanted. I wanted to know backend. I wanted to know front end. I wanted to know like a bit of like database. I wanted to know it all. And at some point, I had found you guys, and you had everything, quite literally everything I wanted in that full stack developer bootcamp. I was like, oh, this is great. I loved having, being able to have that one-on-one time sometimes with like other instructors from the Tech Academy, and they were super helpful. There were some times where I'd get like super confused, and they really helped iron out a lot of different things I was having trouble with or I didn't quite understand, and it was incredibly helpful. After the Tech Academy, I know what was like kind of built into the bootcamp was also a job placement course, which I thought was awesome. I had no idea where to start in regards to that. I didn't know how I should be tailoring my resume. I didn't know what I should be doing in regards to like cover letters, or like, do I need to sign up for another social website or anything? I honestly never would have signed up for LinkedIn. I wouldn't have nearly as polished of a resume. I wouldn't have a good cover letter, and I wouldn't know how to network nearly as well if it weren't for the Tech Academy. You guys really prepared me with the skills I needed to get into the job search. And it can be hard. It can be hard to network, but that's how I landed my current job, is from networking. So I just had to branch out of my shell. I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it. And I did it, and I was finally able to find a stable job, and I'm super grateful. I actually currently talk to a lot of people about the Tech Academy because I've been trying to convince a lot of like my peers and other friends I know that traditional education is not always the way to go. You want to learn coding? You don't got to go to the university. You don't got to go to a college. And I honestly came out of the Tech Academy with more knowledge than my peers who went to university. I remember trying to communicate with them after I graduated, and they just didn't know what I was talking about. Like, are they not teaching you these things? So I tell everybody to go to the Tech Academy. Like, this place is great. Please go.